औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम Dear student, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Dear student, today it's our third lecture on XRD or X-ray diffraction. Of course, inorganic material chemistry. Course code is 3115. Dear student, the key concepts of our today lecture are divergence of X-ray beam produced by the X-ray tube, what is the use of divergence slits, optics, detectors, spectral contamination in diffraction patterns, safety measures regarding in the X-ray tube, mean X-ray shooters, characteristic of X-rays, nomenclature of spectral lines, Sigband notation. The X-ray beam produced by the X-ray tube is divergent. Incident beam optics are used to limit this divergence. Lambda is equal to 2d HKL sin theta. X-rays from an X-ray tube are divergent, contain multiple characteristic wavelengths as well as Bremsstrahlung radiation. Neither of these conditions suit our ability to use X-rays for analysis. The divergence means that instead of a single incident angle, the sample is actually illuminated by photons with a range of incident angles. The spectral contamination means that the sample does not diffract a single wavelength of radiation, but rather several wavelengths of radiation. Consequently, a single set of crystallographic planes will produce several diffraction peaks instead of one diffraction peak. Optics are used to limit divergence of the X-ray beam, refocus X-rays on parallel path, remove unwanted wavelength. Divergence slits are used to limit the divergence of the incident X-ray beam. The slit block X-rays that have too great a divergence. The size of the divergence slit influences peak intensity and peak shapes. Narrow divergence slit reduce the intensity of the X-ray beam, reduce the length of the X-ray beam hitting the sample, produce sharper peaks. The instrumental resolution is improved so that closely spaced peaks can be resolved. यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट ये स्लिट जो है ये दिखाई गई है कि यहाँ से आपका क्या है रेस जो है वो पास होंगी. Now we will discuss different optics which are used to limit the divergence of the X-ray beam. To limit the divergence of the X-ray beam, divergence limiting slits, parallel plate collimators, and solar slits were used. Refocus X-ray into parallel path, parallel beam optics, parabolic mirrors, and capillary lenses, focusing mirror and lenses, remove unwanted wavelength, monochromator, K-beta filters. These are the different parameters which are used to remove the divergence of the X-ray beam as shown in the diagram. First, parallel plate collimator and solar slates block divergent X-rays but do not restrict beam size like a divergent slate. And in the second diagram, goblet mirror and capillary lenses collect a large portion of the divergent beam and refocus it into a nearly parallel beam. Detectors. In detail, we will discuss this detector in our next lecture, but here just we will see main points of these detectors. First, what are the point detectors and what are the function of these detectors? Observe one point of space at a time, slow but compatible with most or all optics. Scintillation and gas proportional detectors count all photons within an energy window that hit them. Silicon or lithium detectors can electronically analyze or filter wavelength. Position sensitive detectors, linear PSD, observe all photons scattered along a line from 2 to 10 degree long. 2D area detectors observe all photons scattered along a conic section. Gas proportional, gas on wire microgap anodes, limited resolution, issues with dead time and saturation. CCD, limited in size, expensive. Solid state real time multiple semiconductor strips, high speed with high resolution, robust. Spectral contaminations in different patterns. The K-alpha-1 and K-alpha-2 doublet will almost always be present. Very expensive optics can remove the K-alpha-2 line. K-alpha-1 and K-alpha-2 overlap heavily at low angle and are more separated at high angles. W lines form as the tube edges. The W filament contaminates the target anode and becomes a new X-ray source. W and K beta lines can be removed with optics. जी यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट इस डायग्राम के अंदर क्लियरली शो किया गया है कि जहाँ पे आपके पास के अल्फा 1 लाइन आएगी वहां पे आपके पास के बीटा 2 लाइन भी आएगी। मीन ये जो कंटेमिनेशन है ये इसके अंदर आएगी। इसी तरह आपका इसके अंदर है कि यहाँ पे के अल्फा 1 और ये के अल्फा 2 लाइन इसी तरह इसके अंदर है। तो इसके डिफरेंट जो हमने लास्ट लेक्चर लिया था उसके अंदर हमने इनको बताया था कि किस तरह हम इनको रिमूव करेंगे डिफरेंट पैरामीटर यूज करके। तो ये जो है ये कंटेमिनेशन कहलाती हैं इन स्पेक्ट्रम मीन इन डिफ्रैक्टोग्राम। The X-ray shooter is the most important safety device on a diffractometer. X-ray exit the tube through X-ray transparent beryllium windows. X-ray safety shooters contain the beam so that you may work in the diffractometer without being exposed to the X-rays. Being aware of the status of the shooters is the most important factor in working safely with X-rays. ये आपके पास यहाँ पे जो है ये शूटर यूज किए जाते हैं। ये फर्स्ट आपके पास ये प्राइमरी शूटर है, देन आपके पास ये सेकेंडरी शूटर है और ये आपके पास सोलेनॉइड है। ये आपके जो लॉस है यानी कि जो एक्सरेज हैं इसको ह्यूमन बॉडी पे डलने से या ह्यूमन को जो लॉस करने से बचाते हैं। तो ये शूटर यूज किए जाते हैं ताकि जहां पे आपने एक्सरेज को डालना है वहीं पे जाएं, आपका लॉस ना हो। Safety measures regarding in X-ray tube mean X-ray shooters। अब हम इसको डिटेल में देखेंगे। Now X-ray tube may be energized while outside its protective tube housing or with an unshielded aperture in the tube head or protective barrier. No sample collimator or analyzing crystal shall be changed or adjusted whilst a primary X-ray beam passes through that collimator or is incident on that sample or crystal unless the sample, collimator or crystal during and after the change or adjustment is within a shielded enclosure and the change or adjustment is performed by remote means from outside the enclosure. Immediate measures must be taken to remove potentially hazardous situations arising from X-ray beams that may be emitted due to an equipment defect, misalignment, or any other reason. XRA equipment must not be operated by inexperienced persons unless under the direct supervision of an experienced operator. Visual alignments or adjustment must not be carried out while the X-ray tube is energized unless a viewing system is used which is shielded or designed to prevent exposure of the eye or other parts of the body to the primary beam. Control access beam locks, interlock circuit, etc. to rooms using X-ray machine is required. Operator should know what the dose rate are at various stages in the operation to ensure that maximum effort is directed at reducing the time of exposure during high dose rate procedure. Main consider the difficulties when handling large animals during scintigraphy or other procedures that involve optional exposure. Now, characteristic X-rays. The atoms of each element in the sample consist of a nucleus made up of neutrons and positively charged protons and a cloud of negatively charged electrons that surround the nucleus. The number of protons in the nucleus of the atom defines its atomic number, while in a neutrally charged atom, the number of protons is matched by the number of electrons. The electron in the electron cloud have a stable set of energy level, also known as electron shells. The shell closest to the nucleus is known as the K shell, followed outwards by the L, M, N, O, P, and Q shells. Energy dispersive X-ray spectroscopy EDS microanalysis is mostly concerned with electrons in the inner shell, mean the K, L, and M shell. The maximum number of electrons in each shell is governed by quantum mechanics with the maximum of 2 electrons in the K shell, 8 electrons in the L shell, 18 electrons in the M shell, and so on. Each shell apart from the K shell is split into subshell with the electron in related subshell having slightly different energies. The L shell has 3 subshells, the M shell has 5 subshells, and so on. The K shell has the highest ionization energy or critical ionization energy in the atom. That is, more energy is needed to remove an electron from this shell than from subshell further from the nucleus. The further from the nucleus the electron is, the lower its ionization energy. Characteristic X-rays are produced by electron transition between the inner electron shell. Here is the Bohr atomic model. First K shell, then L shell and M shell. K shell have 2 electrons, L shell have 8 electrons, and M shell have 18 electrons. What are orbitals? Orbitals are regions in space that are occupied by electrons. To visualize this better, let's take a look at the following illustration. This is the nucleus. This is the first shell. N is equal to 1. N mean 1 mean first shell, and it has only one subshell which is S. N is equal to 2 mean second shell, and it has two subshell S and P. Now N is equal to 3 mean third shell, and it has three subshell S, P and D. S, P and D. Next is N is equal to 4 mean four subshell S, P, D and F. These are different orbitals. Here orbital S and P, these are orbitals, and collectively S and P are known as shell. S and P individually known as subshell. The electron in each shell and subshell have specific ionization energies, and these are different for every element. That is, the ionization energy for the K shell in silicon is 1.84 kilo electron volt is different from the ionization energy of the K shell in platinum, which is 78.4 kilo electron volt. This is a schematic diagram of an atom showing the nucleus surrounded by the K, L and M electron shell. The K shell can have a maximum of 2 electrons. The L shell has 3 subshells and can have a maximum of 8 electrons. The M shell has 5 subshells and can have a maximum of 18 electrons. The production of characteristic X-rays is a two-stage process: ionization followed by relaxation. What is ionization? Firstly, an electron is removed from one of the inner shell of the atom by an electron from the primary beam so that the atom is ionized and in an unstable state. Secondly, what is relaxation? The atom remains the atom regains stability when an electron from an outer shell fills the inner shell vacancy and an X-ray photon is emitted. The energy of the emitted X-ray is equal to the difference between the ionization energies of the electrons involved in the transition. Note that inner shell ionization and characteristic X-ray emission can result from irradiation by a primary beam of protons or X-rays as well as electron mean EDS or WDS. ये करेक्टरिस्टिक एक्सरे प्रोडक्शन शो किया गया यहाँ पे। ये इलेक्ट्रॉन है, ये पिक्चर आपका सामने शो किया गया है कि ये इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है सेम से आ रही हैं। ये यहाँ से एक इलेक्ट्रॉन को जो है वो क्या करेंगे, निकाल देंगे। क्लियर हो गया। जब ये वैकेंसी आपकी यहाँ पे प्रोड्यूस हो जाएगी, ये तो इलेक्ट्रॉन आपका वो है जो आपका सेम से आ रहा है, तो जब ये वैकेंसी आपकी क्रिएट होगी, ये इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ से निकल गया, तो ये इलेक्ट्रॉन जंप करके यहाँ पे इसमें आएगा। तो ये केस आपको दिखाया गया है आपका सिलिकॉन एटम के अंदर। तो यहाँ से आपकी जो है वो एक्सरे जो है वो इवॉल्व होंगी, जो कि आपकी हैं सिलिकॉन SiK अल्फा एक्सरेज, और ये आपका है इलेक्ट्रॉन बीम फ्रॉम सेम काजेज इनर शेल आयोनाइजेशन। तो यहाँ पे ये उसकी क्या होगी, आयोनाइजेशन है। An electron from the primary beam dislodges an electron from the K shell of a silicon atom in the sample. An electron from the L shell fills the vacancy and a silicon K alpha X-ray is generated. The energy of the X-ray is equal to the ionization energy of the K shell minus the ionization energy of the L shell. Each element has specific ionization energies for each subshell. So the difference between the energies is characteristic of the element involved in producing the X-ray photon. For silicon, the ionization energy of the K shell is 1.84 kilo electron volt. The ionization energy of the L shell is approximately 0.10 kilo electron volt, and the ionization energy of the M shell is approximately 0.01 keV. The characteristic X-ray spectrum for silicon shows three spectral lines. The line at low energy, mean approximately at 0.09 kilo electron volt, result from ionization of the L shell with an electron from the L shell filling the vacancy. Energy is equal to 0.10 minus 0.01 kilo electron volt. This line would be at or below the limit of the detection for most EDS detectors. The line at approximately 1.74 kilo electron volt result from ionization of the K shell with an electron from the L shell filling the vacancy and having energy. E is equal to 1.84 minus 0.10 kilo electron volt, whereas the smaller peak at higher energy 1.83 kilo electron volt result from the ionization of the K shell and an electron from the M shell filling the vacancy. This is K alpha line having energy 1.74 74 kilo electron volt, and this is K beta line having energy 1.83 kilo electron volt, and this is L alpha line having energy 0.09 kilo electron volt. The ideal characteristic X-ray spectrum for silicon. The characteristic X-ray lines K alpha, K beta, and L alpha have discrete energies. Characteristic X-ray generation. So इसमें फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ये आपका जो है वो एक इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है वो आ रहा है. An electron from the primary electron beam interact with the electron cloud around an atom in the sample. ये यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, इंटरेक्शन आपकी जो है वो रही है. ये आपका क्या है, प्राइमरी इलेक्ट्रॉन बीम वो जो आपके पास आ रही है, ये क्लाउड के साथ यहाँ पे जो एक इलेक्ट्रॉन इसके साथ स्ट्राइक करेगा. स्टेप 1 इंटरेक्शन हुआ. And in step 2, ionization. The electron from the primary beam ionize the target atom and an electron is removed from the K shell of the atom. Both the primary beam electron and the ejected electron leave the atom. यहाँ पे आप देख लें कि यहाँ से जो आपका क्लाउड का था वो भी इलेक्ट्रॉन गया और जो आ रहा था वो भी इलेक्ट्रॉन चला गया. मीन ये स्टेप आपका क्या है, ionization. Second step will be ionization. Now, third is the filling of vacancy. An electron from an outer shell, in this case the M shell, fill the vacancy in the K shell and characteristic X-ray is produced. ये आप देखें कि यहाँ पे ये आपका K है, ये L है और ये M से एक इलेक्ट्रॉन जंप करके यहाँ पे आया. जब ये जंप करके आएगा तो यहाँ से एक्सरेज, कैरेक्टरिस्टिक एक्सरे जो है वो आपकी प्रोड्यूस होंगी. क्लियर. तो थर्ड स्टेप विल बी फिलिंग द vacancy. Fourth step, generation of X-rays. The energy of the X-ray photon is equal to the difference between the energies of the two shells involved in the transition. In this case, energy is equal to K E K minus E M. क्योंकि आपका जो इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है वो K से गया और उस वैकेंसी को फिल करने के आपका इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है वो M से आएगा. Nomenclature of spectral lines in spectroscopy. The most commonly used naming convention for characteristic X-ray line is the Sigburn notation. The first component of the name is the element involved, for example silicon. The second component is the electron shell that was ionized to produce the X-ray, for example KLRM. The third component reflects the relative intensity of the line within each shell. For example, alpha is the most intense line, followed by beta and gamma. The lines within each shell make up a family or series of lines for that shell. For example, the K family comprises the K alpha and K beta X-ray lines. In the silicon spectrum, the lowest energy X-ray line is the silicon L alpha line. The line at 1.74 kilo electron volt is the silicon K alpha line, and the line at approximately 1.83 kilo electron volt is the silicon K beta line. Here, यहाँ पे आपका the electron transition involved in generating the K alpha, K beta and L alpha X-ray photon शो किया गया है. स्पेसिमन एटम कैरेक्टरिस्टिक एक्सरेज, ये फर्स्ट आपका यहाँ पे जैसे आपका ये हुआ कि ये इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ से ये आपकी आई रेडिएशन, यहाँ पे फर्स्ट यहाँ पे ये इलेक्ट्रॉन आपका निकल गया, ये जैसे लास्ट में हमने दिखाया था सेम के अंदर. तो इसको फिल करने के लिए यहाँ पे ये आपका एक इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ पे आ जाएगा. क्लियर. और अगर ये यहाँ से निकलता है तो ये यहाँ से इलेक्ट्रॉन आपका आ जाएगा. और अगर ये यहाँ से इलेक्ट्रॉन गया और ये यहाँ से आपके पास इलेक्ट्रॉन आ रहा है, तो इन दीज केसेस आपका जो है वो कौन सी जो लाइन जो है वो आएगी। तो इस केस में जहाँ पे आपका के का इलेक्ट्रॉन गया और इसको फिल किया जो आपके एल के इलेक्ट्रॉन ने, तो वो आपकी होगी के अल्फा। और यहाँ पे जब ये वैकेंसी आपकी किसकी है, एल की है, और इसको फिल किया किसके इलेक्ट्रॉन ने, एम के इलेक्ट्रॉन ने, तो यहाँ पे होगा एल अल्फा लाइन। और यहाँ पे जो केस आपका है कि के का इलेक्ट्रॉन गया और इसको फिल किया किसने, एम के इलेक्ट्रॉन ने, तो ये आपके पास कौन सा होगा, के बीटा एक्स-रेज। नाउ इज इट क्लियर? For each element, the electron in the K shell have the highest ionization energies, while the ionization energies of the electron in outer shell are lower. More energy is required to ionize the K shell, and it follows that the energies of the K family X-ray lines for each element are greater than those of the L family, which are greater than those of the M family. That is, for every element EK greater than EL greater than EM. Sigma notation. The Sigma notation is used in X-ray spectroscopy to name the spectral lines that are characteristic to the element. ये भी हमने जो डिस्कस किया. It was introduced by Man Sigman. The characteristic line in X-ray emission spectra correspond to atomic electronic transition where an electron jumps down to a vacancy in one of the inner shell of an atom. Such a hole in an inner shell may have been produced by bombardment with electron in an X-ray tube by other particle, as in particle-induced X-ray emission or proton-induced X-ray emission, by other X-rays in X-ray fluorescence, or by radioactive decay of the atom's nucleus. Although still widely used in spectroscopy, this notation is unsystematic and often confusing. For these reasons, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry (IUPAC) recommends another newer nomenclature. The table below shows a few of the common electronic levels with their name in Sigban and IUPAC notation. These are Sigban notation and these are IUPAC notation. लो एनर्जी जो आपके पास है K L3 L3 M5, हायर एनर्जी लेवल L3 L2 M3 L M2 M5 M4 एंड N7। ठीक है, अगर आपके पास लोअर एनर्जी K है, हायर एनर्जी आपके पास डेफिनेट उससे ऊपर आपका K से ऊपर क्या L है M है, और अगर आपका L है तो उससे ऊपर आपका M है और N है। क्लियर हो गया? और M से ऊपर आपका कौन सा होगा, N होगा। तो सिग बैंड नोटेशन यहाँ पे आपका क्या हो जाएगा, K अल्फा 1। और IUPAC नोटेशन हम अगर देखें तो उसमें आपके पास आएगा K L3 K अल्फा 2 K L2 in case of IUPAC notation. In Sagband notation, K beta 1 correspond to K M3 notation in IUPAC, K beta 3 K M2 L alpha 1 correspond to L3 M5 notation in IUPAC. Sig band notation L beta 1 correspond to L3 M4 notation in IUPAC, and M alpha 1 sig band notation correspond to M5 and 7 IUPAC notation. स्टूडेंट आप अपने क्वेश्चन जो है मुझे इस मेरी ईमेल आईडी पे पूछ सकते हैं किसी भी वक्त इस लेक्चर के रिगार्डिंग या जो हमारे प्रीवियस लेक्चर्स हो गए उनसे रिगार्डिंग कोई भी क्वेश्चन आपका है तो विदाउट एनी हेजिटेशन आप मुझसे पूछ सकते हैं। थैंक यू सो मच। अल्लाह ब्लेस यू। अल्लाह हाफिज।